Good afternoon, my Teaserking family. How's everybody on Thursday, March 9th? I can't believe my birthday's come and went. It's amazing how fast time flies. So what's been going on? There's a movie I'm watching called Assault on Wall Street, which I think is preparing us for what's happening now. As I'm laughing, going, but this is pretty much what happens. So I got a few clips I want to share with you as soon as I get there. Let's check gold first. Gold price today. That's back up a little bit, it looks like. No. Whatever. The derivatives are buying, not selling today. Hello. Sometimes I don't get the graph up. Anyway, it looks like gold's at 1832. Up 13, whatever that means. But my normal site, I'm not getting the chart. So right around there, again, it doesn't mean anything. Let's see what the Dow's saying. Now, the difference is this is real. There was a jump in jobless claims, so the Dow rallied 175. Well, what that means is if there's more people applying for unemployment, they're not working. If you have less people working, you have less sales. So why would the Dow jump 175? I guess there's a jobs report tomorrow. Oh, it's a bunch of bullshit. It means absolutely nothing. Anyway. So in our Google notes, highly anticipated 2023 proof American Silver Eagle. It's going for like $75. Who cares? See, we're not buying it for the proof or the condition. We're buying it for the ounce of silver. Don't forget that. The rarest and most expensive precious metal isn't gold. Oh, really? And what is it? See, here's when you get this bullshit. So I hate when just get to the fucking point. Currently, the most expensive precious metal price per ounce of rhodium stands at 10,300 at the time. Well, it's because they're not price fixing it. Hello, McFly. See, but it's all bullshit. You can find anything that's got a price and say, oh, look, it's more in gold. Well, gold price fixed, so automatically you can't use it against a non-price fixed thing, which I never heard of. See, again, gold is money. Rhodium isn't. So to bring up this other stuff into the conversation is just bullshit. Russia strikes many Ukrainian regions, power cut. I know Jenna's had problems with the internet she doesn't have it. I says, well, we get the same thing. We get storms every Friday now. I guess it's part of Putin's plan to build up energy prices by giving us a snowstorm every Friday. I guess we're supposed to get one tomorrow, and I'll probably lose internet again. Like, what the fuck? How can there every Friday be a snowstorm? And problems in Mexico. Okay. So let me walk you through. That's stupid news. Okay, so let's go to these videos, which we've just done. So I'm going to start with the last one because it really hits home. This is the problem. So this guy's losing all his money. And I don't know if I should talk about it first or after we watch it. So this is Attack on Wall Street. This is from the 2008 crisis. This guy puts his money in whatever, has this financial planner, and they lose all his money. He eventually shoots all the big shots. So there was a happy ending. So let's go through, and then we'll talk about the lesson the Teaser King teaches. Okay, here we go. It's from a movie.
What's going on? Sorry to tell you this, but we're about to. It's an investigation going on right now.
All right, I'll start from the beginning.
Jim? What's going on? Sorry to tell you this, but your notes for delisted evidence change. What's that? There's an investigation going on right now. For what? Investigation. With this investment portfolios. But it looks like a significant portion of your fund is alerted in paper that is a little suspect. Yeah. You don't know? No, I don't know much right now. You're my broker. It's what you do. It's what you get paid for. But you put my money into anything suspicious. So I told you when we first met, I only invest in clean deals, but it seems that the firm itself is behind all this. Look, I can't really tell you anything else. This thing is a legal snowball. How is this possible? We'll just have to wait until the investigation is through. I mean, it seems that your investment was good and as it should be, but then everything lost its value. The question is, did the firm have knowledge that your original investment was bad? You just said you wanted the unclear deals. I do. I'm the player here. You're not the whole game. And do I look happy to you? You're not the only one hurting because of this. Your investment, my investment, the investments of a lot of unfortunate people. You told me, you promised me that they'd 8 to 10% of my investment guaranteed. And that is what my firm told me. I searched it out, I did my research. My office manager told me to put my clients into this. What else did you put money into? No, it's backed by commercial real estate. And look, these looked like buildings. I checked the specs, I did the research. They looked like they would be full capacity. Okay, but now they're sitting. Did you inspect these buildings? Did you inspect these properties? The people that do all the research told me that this was the real deal. So what do we do now? We'll get some information regarding the investigation, and I'm telling you, it's going to take a while before this whole thing is clowning. I lost all my money. Not necessarily. There's going to be some large lawsuits. I just want my money back. So that's not how investment works. I mean, you got to pay to play. This is not a fucking game, Jimmy. This is my fucking life savings, you fuck. I understand. And I feel your pain. I do. I lost a lot of money too. But that's how investment works, man. I'm sorry. It gives and it takes away.
Okay, so what do we learn there? So the short hair guy is like a Marine type of guy. So he doesn't know what he's doing. And he got $60,000 or $70,000 to invest. What does he do? Well, instead of learning what to do, he goes to this portfolio manager guy, he's a salesman. The guy just cares about the commission. He listens to somebody and they say that they didn't understand the real estate's going to bust because they're loaning out money to people in the real estate that should never get a loan because they don't have no good credit. But the government will bail them out. But the government doesn't bail out the taxpayers. More so, the government takes the taxpayers' money to use that as the bailout. So bailout is central bank. Here's Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, whatever. Oops, we fucked up. We put our clients into this mutual fund, and it wait a minute, it's all bad because people can't afford the loans on the mortgage, and they're all defaulting. Which anybody with any type of brain like should know that, right? Anybody working at these companies. But they sit there and go, well, we don't care. We're going to take the risk because you know what? If something happens to us, the government's going to bail us out. How about all the poor guys like this guy who's not going to get bailed out? Now, in the movie, his wife has cancer and needs the money for medical. He thinks he has $60,000, $70,000 in the retirement account. Okay, I'll go sell it. Now, here's what happened. The guy loses all his money because he's a fucking idiot, right? Because he didn't know what he was doing. He trusted somebody who was a salesman, which is what you never trust. And then the guy lost all his money. And they go, oh, I feel bad for you, but I made commission on you, so I don't give a fuck. And that's basically what's happening because the portfolio manager or his financial guy is a salesman. He's not an economist. This is the first question I tell you to ask them. What do you think of gold? If they say, oh, it doesn't move, you get up and say, goodbye. You're an idiot and walk out. Because this would never happen in gold. So what I wanted to give you is a real world example of what's about to happen in the next 6 to 9 months as the economy collapses and as all these people need their stock money. It ain't going to be there. And the banks are not going to let you have your money. This is exactly what's going to happen, right? Oh, I didn't know. I thought I had money in the bank. I thought I had money in my stocks or my mutual funds or wherever the salesman put me in. This is the problem. That's not, again, on football, and you don't even know what team it is or who's the quarterback. I don't know. What the fuck you betting on it for? or these idiots that play poker that have no idea what they're doing. People that get married don't know what they're doing. It all comes back to economics. It all goes back to understanding what the fuck you're doing before you do it. And you have to learn it. You can't know from somebody else. You can't listen to some guy like Peter Schiff, who's a salesman, saying, buy gold without the explanation. And you go buy gold. Well, Peter Schiff told me, and then, it dips because of Comex, and nobody understands it and doesn't understand it's phony, it's not real. But the idea is you don't really want to be involved with somebody if you don't know what you're doing. It's a leap of faith to trust them. Now, unless you meet a rare person like me who can fucking explain everything, risk, reward, da 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 da. So you understand it, but I'm not selling it to you. I'm telling you what to do, but I'm not selling it to you. I don't make any money. Not only that, you can see I'm doing it. So you got to go, wow, the professor has gold and silver. He's telling us to buy gold and silver because the money's inflated. It'll go to zero. Stock market's going to crash. And the banks might not give me my money. So I better get into gold and silver. Now you understand why. Now you can do it. And when the stock market collapses, I just saved you all this money. Plus, you got all your money in gold and silver, which is going to spike up. You can never lose with gold and silver like these idiots lost in their mutual funds. This guy loses 60 grand thinking he's going to get 8 to 10%. What is he dealing with, Madoff? You said 8 to 10% with no risk. Well, right there, you can't get 8. You cannot get any return without a risk. There's a risk in everything. So that's the first problem, right? The guy's telling him no risk. Hey, Bobby Bo. Yeah, I just showed a video. Go watch it. We've only been on. So watch it at about the 5-minute mark. So it's from this movie called. It's this movie called Assault on Wall Street, where this guy has 60 grand in his account and he ends up listening to his stockbroker and he loses all his money because the investments are bad. And because of the Howell mortgage crisis, this is like 2008 time. This is 2013, but it's about that. So the guy's like, oh, I'm sorry, we lost all your money. Oh, well. And the guy's crying. His wife's got cancer and he just lost 60 grand. And he says, oh, well, I thought I was going to get 8 to 10% guaranteed. Again, and so he loses all his money and then he goes and kills everybody. So it's a happy ending. So the problem is he got into something involved that he didn't know what he was doing. And he trusted a broker who's a salesman who all they want is a commission. Right. And that's my point is be careful who you trust. You don't want to trust salesmen. You want to trust economists. You want to trust the professor who has your interest in heart and who does the exact same thing. And I eat avocados, right? So you give $60,000 to a stranger who says, well, I'll make 8 to 10%. And then it collapses. And all he can say is, oh, well, I thought I was going to make you money. It was supposed to. I mean, the guy's wife has cancer. He doesn't want to hear he lost all his money. That's not why he's investing. That 60,000, if he put it in gold, could never lose the 60,000, right? Because of some real estate problem or some delisting or whatever the fuck happened. It was derivatives also. So with all that bullshit going on, the guy ends up losing 60 grand. Now, if you have 60,000 in gold, you can't lose it. You can never lose it. Maybe you lose $100 because the spot goes from 19 to 18 and you go back to the guy and he gives you that. Okay, that's the worst that can happen with gold. But as we know, it's going to go through the roof, which is the bonus that. So this idiot wanted 8 to 10%. And we're going to get thousands of percentage with no risk. And we can't lose. So I know I got 50 ounces of gold at, I call it 2,000 an ounce is 100 grand. My risk, 0, There's no way I can lose 100 grand. That's gold can't go to zero. It's a perfect investment. And more than likely, when it goes to, let's say, 20,000 an ounce times 50 ounces gives me what? 100? No, gives me $1 million or something like that, right? 50 times 20,000. So you add a couple zeros to it. So it's like $1 million. That's my reward. My risk is zero. You can't lose in gold. This could never happen in gold and silver. What happened to this poor guy where he needs his 60,000 and the guy says, we lost it. Well, if I'm holding on my gold and I got it in a safe place, ain't nothing going to happen to it. It's gold. That's the beauty of gold. This is the lesson I keep pushing, but now you can see it when you see this poor guy in a movie happen to him. Who do you recommend watching it? Yeah, it's very informative. It's very good for what's happening now. It's on Tubi. It's called Massacre or something. Assault on Wall Street. It's on Tubi. So I'm going to give you the beginning of the movie. I made a few videos of it. So this is the first. Just a second. Okay, so listen what they're saying.
Financial rescue act in which the taxpayers buy out Wall Street's bad investments. After just 6 months, 3 of the 5 biggest independent firms on Wall Street have now disappeared. The numbers are staggering. They don't begin to explain the degree of confidence that created this manipulation. Supervision, charitable debt was magnified by reckless borrowing, complex securities. I think that the one month or so is not inherently attractive. I don't want these companies coming to. However, they seem to find people who make money, whatever they want to do. Just like this money. It's a real tough story. The man in charge of the bailout. The smartest investors in the world. So, just certainly not worth it. It's better than that. But I thought the mortgage properties were what's our risk? 12 billion. That's unacceptable. But we have a real situation here. Our clients are about to jump ship. The problem is saving this company, not the clients, this company. We shifted $4 billion in deposits, which leaves us with it. Until our clients figure out that we sold them worthless papers. But that room only buys us a few more weeks at best. I talked to Merrill. They said they'd insure the paper for 2 weeks, but they want $200 million to do it. 2 weeks. 2 weeks is nothing. We need 2 months at least. Now, it's time for triage. Time to dump the certificates on the market, all of them. Dump them. What about the pension fund investors? We're talking over $15 billion. That's not our problem. But if other houses follow suit, we can start a stand. Our priority is saving this house and fuck all the others. Our responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
So we can see the major problem right there. He don't give a shit about you. He gives a shit about the company. It's worthless. Well, we'll dump it on the street like in margin call. We'll just dump it. We'll sell worthless shit. The salesmen don't care. They're just dumping it because they got to save the company like in margin call, not the investor. So you have your money in these stocks or these mutual funds, whatever the fuck they got them in. And what are they doing? They're promising you a song and a dance. Oh, you're gonna make 10%, or I'm gonna do a Madoff. You make 15%, but don't dance. And he's trying to save the company. We'll dump the shit. We don't care about the people. We care about the company. So this is the mentality on Wall Street, and this is what you're dealing with. And this is why I tell you, get the fuck out of stocks, because you don't know what's going on with the companies, and they don't care about you. They're not really there to make you 10%. It's a scam, Ponzi scheme. They want your money in so the prices go up and then they get out because they take care of themselves. They don't care about you. So unless you understand the game, which very few people do, you're all getting fucked. And that's what I'm trying to save you. Call it my INFJ, but that's what an INFJ does. He sees an old lady and she needs help with the groceries. I help her with the groceries. I open the door for her. And I've done that. That's what this is. This is about you don't understand what you've got your hard-earned money in. You think because the salesman told you, oh, you'll get 8%, there's no risk. You believe that because you don't have a fucking clue. You play with matches, you're going to get burned, okay? I'm not in stocks. I'm smart enough to understand you're going to get fucked in stocks. It's all manipulated. You think gold's manipulated. Stocks are manipulated 100 times more. So why do I want to put 100 grand in the stock market? I had mine in gold. I had 100 grand in gold, right? I buy the gold stocks, and I told you what I did. So I have 100 grand in my IRA, and I found Newmont Mining at $50 a share, and I'd buy 1,000 shares. Cost me $50,000, and they'd be in there for about 6 hours mostly. Buy it at 10:30 and sell it by 3:30 because I know at 10 o'clock the next morning it's going down. So I want to get out before it goes down. So generally, you make 50, 60, 70 cents times 1,000. You make $500, $600, $700. You do it every day. It adds up. That's the point because I can't trust it. I bought some at $60 a share, $70 a share. Now it was like $40 a share. And believe me, when this crash hits, it's going to be $20 a share. And that might be the time to buy it after it gets dumped. And you got to understand, this is the bankers are run. This is my next clip. Is all the government guys are running the fucking Wall Street guys and running the banks. And that'll be the next clip very soon. And so it's all a scam, right? You're getting fucked because you don't know what to do and you're getting scammed because you're listening to Madoff and everybody says, oh, I make money with Madoff. And you think, oh, good, I'll make money. And then when he goes broke and he says, it's a Ponzi scheme and everybody loses their money, they're all fucking, what are they thinking? Of course you're going to lose money because you don't know what you're doing. You don't know it's a Ponzi scheme. So when the shit does hit the fan, you've got to understand that the shit's hitting. So you got to understand what you're getting into before you get into it. Bobby, a lot of that boy trading liquidation, the shit out of people. But they've been doing that forever, Bobby. That's the whole point of it. It's all about the guy making sales. These Wall Street firms are nothing but trying to get your money. And then they put it into the fund, and as the fund goes up, what do you think? The firm takes their money out, and then it starts going down, or there's some bad things, or the people can't pay the mortgages anymore, which you knew if you understood economics. Like I did, I was nowhere to be found. I didn't lose a dime in 2000. I didn't lose a dime in 2008. I knew what was going to happen, just like I know now. You have inflation. How can the market go up? First of all the companies are going to lose because of the inflation. They won't be able to raise their prices to cover their extra cost. People being out of work, the unemployment numbers are going up. Interest rates are going up. Okay, that's not good for the economy, which means it's not good for stocks, which means you get the fuck out of them. You don't sit there and say, well, like my idiot co-workers in Alabama, I said, I tried to be very nice. And I said to them, you probably need to get out of stocks in your IRA. Oh, Howard, you're older than I am. And, yeah, they'll drop, but they'll come back up because they always do. When I got done laughing, and I told two different guys this, trying to help them, right? I got a fucking master's in economics. You don't. I am telling you what's going to happen, and you don't want to listen. What does it cost you if you've got your money out of the stock market and into cash? Let's say you got 50,000 in your IRA. What's it going to cost you to put it into cash for a year? But if your 50K goes to zero or goes to 5,000, now what? What are you going to do when it goes down to 5,000? How are you going to figure? Oh, you're going to wait for it to go up. And what's going to drive it up? Do you even understand how the market goes up and down? No, you just assume it's going to go up and down. You assume if it goes down, it's coming back up. You're a fucking idiot, basically. And I told them that. Age has nothing to do with it. The fact that I'm older than you, this is what's happening. The market's going to drop, and it ain't never coming back. When this market drops, and it's 33,000 or whatever the fuck it is, goes down to 5,000, you'll never see 33,000 again. Never. So don't think, oh, I'll wait and it'll come back up. It won't. You're fucked. But if you get out of it and buy protect yourself with gold and silver, you can't lose. You can't. It's not going to go down. How can gold and silver go down in an inflationary time with Russia, China coming out with dollars backed by gold, with a physical price being set by Russia and China, and realizing this is not a physical price? They're trying to kill COMEX. Then you're going to look at the ruble, the price in gold, physical price, and you'll see $30,000. How the fuck can you lose doing this, right? It's a no-brainer. They can't fuck you. They can't do anything. I mean, they're fucking you now with COMEX, but we all understand that. We get the price fix. We understand the price fix. So we're in it at as low as it's going to get. They can't print it. They can't sell more derivatives and try to lower the price. It ain't going to happen. And too many people want the price to go up now. And everybody who wants to buy at this cheap price is buying. Me, Bobby, Nick, everybody here who's buying silver at 25 an ounce. What's your risk? Where is it going to zero? Really? It's going to 10? Really? It's going to 20? Really? And then how long is it going to stay there? Versus it going to 1,000. The odds on it going to 1,000 are 99.9%. The odds on it going to zero are 0.000%. I'm not talking to you as a salesman. I'm talking to you as a professor teaching you economics. It's impossible to. You're not going to. If I'm the guy in the movie and my wife's got cancer and he's got 60,000, it's in gold. And then you know what he does? He takes his gold and says, okay, I'll cash it in. I'll get my 60 grand back. I can't lose in gold or silver. I can't. It's impossible to lose in it because it's not manipulated outside where, oh, wait, this is a bad investment. People aren't buying their mortgages anymore. They can't make the payments. Therefore, I need to get, it's all bad. And, you just lost all your money. How can you do that with gold? No, nobody can do anything about gold except for the price fixing, but it's eventually going up. It can't happen. But if you just had a regular price, it would never go down. A lot of that bot trading, liquidating the shit. Yeah. All right, let's go to the third video. It's a short one, but it explains.
Robert Rubin, co-chairman of Goldman Sachs, served as Treasury Secretary under Clinton, and when Leeds becomes chairman of Citigroup's executive committee. John Corzine, governor of New Jersey, John Snow, Secretary of Treasury under Bush, Leeds become chairman of Cerberus Capital Management, a very large private equity firm, and also has been Alan Greenspan, Federal Reserve, Leeds
Sorry about the video, but it's I got it on the TV, right? And then I'm trying to show you. So the movie's called Assault on Wall Street on Tubi. Everybody gets Tubi if you have Roku. It's a free channel. All you got to do is it'll ask you for your age. That's how you register for it. I put in my age and I was all set. It took all of 2 seconds. Then you can start saving the movies and putting them onto your list. And I'll tell you, it's a whole lot better than Netflix, although you do have the commercials. But the choices of movies are so much. You got 1,000 movies. And I keep watching my Russian ones for my Russian girlfriend to learn the culture there. It's pretty interesting. Anyway, so what is he saying? Robert Rubin and Greenspan, all these guys in the government go into the public sector, in the private sector, and work at Goldman Sachs, Chase, all these companies they go work for, but they got all their connections of the government. So the government will do things for them, which will benefit these companies. And if they need believe me, if Greenspan's at wherever he's at, Goldman Sachs, and they need to get bailed out, they get bailed out, or whatever these banks are, they'll get bailed out because the government guys are working there. That's why they're working there. They don't know what the fuck they're doing, but they're working there. So that was the point of that video. It basically said, who's working, how much bullshit is it? And they'll say, well, this guy from the government's working at this firm. And this guy from this firm's now working at the government. And then they go back and forth. How corrupt is that, right? It's what's the word? I don't know. It's not. It's like the referee is from Ann Arbor for the Ohio State game. How impartial is he going to be? That was the word, impartial. So let me go back to the first video just for you, Bobby. And basically, the guy has a meeting with his broker about losing his money.
What's going on? I'm sorry to tell you this, but your notes would do this to the exchange. What's that? It's an investigation going on.
I think so, Bobby. Or NBA or NFL refs.
Just investment portfolios. It looks like a significant portion of your fund was diverted in paper that was a little suspect. You don't know? No, I don't know much right now.
Look at the salesman. He's like, seriously, what an idiot. Exactly. What he gets paid for is to make the commissions, buddy, not for you.
But it seems the third itself was behind all this. If I can't really tell you anything.
And the poor guy's like, I thought it was guaranteed. I thought you were Madoff.
We'll just have to wait until the investigation is through. I mean, it seems that your investment was good and as it should be, but then everything lost its value. The question is, did the
Oops.
knowledge that your original investment was bad? You just said you wanted to deal clear deals. I do.
Had it been in gold, he wouldn't have lost a penny.
And do I look happy to you? You're not the only one hurting because of this. Your investment, my investment, the investments of a lot of unfortunate people.
That's you, Bobby.
People, you told me, you promised me that they could 10% of my investment guaranteed. And that is what my firm told me.
Bullshit.
I searched it out. I did my research. My office manager told me to put my clients into this.
Bullshit.
What else did you put money into? Notes backed by commercial real estate. And look, these looked like.
Watch him look away. He's lying.
Check the specs. I did the research. They looked like they would be full capacity. Okay, but now they're sitting.
See right there, he's looking away.
Did you inspect these properties? The people that do all the research told me that this was the real deal. So what do we do now?
You're fucked.
Get some information regarding the investigation, and I'm telling you, it's going to take a while before this.
See, look at him lie. He looks away.
I lost all my money. Not necessarily. There's going to be some large lawsuits. I just want my money back. So that's not how investment works. I mean, you got to pay to play.
Pay to play.
This is not a fucking game, Jimmy. This is my fucking life savings.
I like when he kills this guy, Bobby.
I understand. And I feel your pain. I do. I lost a lot of money too. But that's how investment works, man. Fine. It gives and takes away.
Bullshit. Not if you know what you're doing. Okay, so he's saying is you pay to play and all this bullshit. What the fuck is that? What do you mean you pay to play? We buy gold. We play a game, we win. We bet football. We play a game, we win. We only do things that we understand, that we know the rules, and we know how to play them, and we know how to win. What this guy did, he trusted some asshole, and he says, "Oh, yeah, you lost all your money. That's a shame, but you pay to play. You had to pay to play." And the guy saying, "You promised this would be risk free, and I'd make 8 to 10%. What fucking planet are you on? There's nothing risk free at 8 to 10%. Didn't you watch Madoff? Like, hello, McFly. Anybody home? I mean, Biff should be hitting this guy in the head. Like, you're a fucking idiot." Then when he loses his money, he's mad at the broker. The broker doesn't know, doesn't give a fuck. The firm doesn't give a fuck. You heard the firm in the first video. He says, "Well, I don't care. We care about us getting solvent, not the people. We don't care about the people." So the moral of this story is don't ever fucking invest anything you don't know about and with people that can't explain it to you properly. Right? I have no say in this. I'm telling you, buy gold and silver. I don't get a commission. I'm not taking your money. You're taking your money. You're buying gold and silver, and this will never happen to you. You're never going to walk into a bank and they're going to say, "Oh, we don't have your money. We needed it for the bail-in," or in the stocks. Oops, it went to zero. Oh, that's just the way it works. You'll never have that problem in gold, right? It's impossible because nobody's fucking around with you. Have the gold. And the JP Morgan bullshit, which we know about, is at the lowest. You're already buying it low, right? Gold and silver. You're not silver at 25. Where's your risk? It cannot go. It's not going to 2. Okay. And gold, the same thing. Plus, you have all the currencies collapsing. You have Russia and China putting out $1 backed by gold. Now, I sent a text to my girlfriend in Russia. And I said, please keep your eye on the gold exchange and the Russian gold currency, the currency backed by gold. I figure they might mention that in Russia that we won't see. So let me know if when the ruble is backed by gold, or you with China backed by gold, or when you have this gold exchange that gives you the actual physical price. Maybe they'll tell their own citizens, but it won't come to us. So I said, just listen out for that. Well, a WWF referee, yeah. I love when they all get knocked out and the guy can't, he pins them for 12 seconds and he can't count the 1, 2, 3. Oh, Bobby, stop with the questions. Just ask the question. Thank you for asking me the question, Bobby. I'll pretend I'm a liberal. So since we are still accumulating metals, what happens if the prices fly up over the summer? Would you sell and take the 22% hit in taxes and say, fix it or keep holding to make the year? So I think I know the answer, but would appreciate the insight in the whole capital gain stuff, as it's annoying that we get hit that hard for assets that are ours. Well, you're actually, because you're buying money, you're not really buying an investment. This isn't really a capital gains because you're buying money with it. If I bought euros and they went up and then I sold them, I'm not really you're buying money. So to answer your question, my goal would be, I'm waiting for 50,000 to sell some of it. And mostly it's going to be, my gold ounces are to buy a house with the gold ounce. I'm going to buy a $500,000 house with 1 ounce of gold. That's where my goal is. Now, coming up, if I need some money for something, I want to take a vacation or buy a new car or something with my gold, then I will simply either barter it, or if I have to sell it, I'll sell it. But then, if I sell like a 1/4 ounce and I get 12.5, that's not a lot on capital gains. You worry too much about your capital gains tax. Um, there's many ways we can go around it. One, we fly to Switzerland and sell it there. There's no capital gain. We got an airplane, $800 to fly there, and you open up a bank account, and the guy gives you $30,000, and you put it in the bank there. Two, you pay. You don't go to a certain store. You go to a guy who won't 1099 you, or maybe you can give him $500 not to 1099 you. I mean, that's just his money. So I think my guy in Ann Arbor is less likely to 1099 me as the place I go to here, because they buy directly from the mint. My guy in Ann Arbor, it's a smaller store. This guy, I bet I could give him $500. He won't 1099 me. But if you got to pay tax, I mean, if you made 50 grand, you got to pay $2,000 in taxes. Okay. Not that I want to, but you are getting 50 grand for that investment. Silver, I wouldn't worry about. I believe that 1099 is 10,000. So you sell 9,000 at a time, and you don't get a tax. You don't get a 1099. So I would do that, sell 4 ounces. Now, if it's 2,000 an ounce, sell 4 ounces for $8,000. Come back next week, sell them another 4 ounces for $8,000. And I would just every Friday or Saturday, I'd go to the thing and give me my $8,000. But so my limits are I'm not doing anything until it really moves, and then only if I need to sell it. If the money is okay, if I don't need to sell it, I won't, because this is not a stock. This is not, it hit gold hit 50,000. I better sell it before it goes to 20. No, gold goes to 50, gold goes to 100. And there is no, once the dollar collapses, and then gold will have its own value. Now you can go buy a $600,000 house with an ounce of gold, or maybe 2 ounces. So that's really the point. There is no price. This is not a stock. I'm not worried about it going up and down. It's going up. It's been down. It's been held down for 50 years, since the early 70s by JP Morgan and Comex. Once that busts, and then there's nobody to control it, then it just keeps going, because the demand will keep going. And then if you need to sell one, you do, but it's not like, it hit 50 grand, now it's coming back to 10. I don't think it works that way, because people will want it. Now people will cash some in, but I think the demand, once it gets there, the line will be out the door to buy. So anytime anybody sells, there'll be a buyer right away. And keep in mind, the middleman is the coin store. So whatever that spot is, and they're going to have to come up with a new way to spot it if they don't use COMEX, or if COMEX then gets zoomed up to where Russia is. But just the fact they're coming out with dollars backed by gold, it's going to shoot it. And I can't guess that price. So I'm not selling this like a stock. So if it jumps up, if I need to buy something, I might sell a 1/4 ounce of gold, or 10 ounces of silver. If I need 10 grand, okay. Well, what am I going to do with it? If I don't need it, what am I going to do with it? Now it's in this shit, or we've gone to the new money, and is the new money backed by gold? So if the new money's not backed by gold, this is my alternative. I'm keeping my money in silver and gold, because there's no alternative to take it. That's why we're getting out of this shit. So it really is not, there is no set price. Let's see what happens, but it's going up. So as it goes up, if you need the money, you sell it. If you don't need the money, you hold it, because the idea will be, okay, I need $8,000 for a car, for this, for that, my girlfriend, whatever. So I need the $8,000. So I'm going to sell a few ounces of silver, get the $8,000, and then it's spent. That's fine. But if you're not going to spend it, you don't want to hold 20,000 of this. I'm getting out of this to buy the silver and gold. Why would I want to get back into it? So you don't. It's only if you need it to spend, and within a month. But if you're not looking to spend it, just let it keep going. Again, it doesn't do you any good if gold's 30,000 an ounce and you want to sell 1 ounce. If you're going to take the money and just put it into this, you're fucked, because this doesn't have value. So there's no point in it, right? You need to get out of the dollar before, as our friend just said, it went to zero and he lost $60,000. Well, that's what's going to happen with this. So you're holding this, is you're going to lose it. And the government is not going to bail you out, and the banks are going to bail in on you and steal it. Just like this Wall Street firm where the guy said, fuck everybody, we got to make ourselves solvent. That's what the banks are going to say to you. Fuck you. We're losing money because we made a lot of bad investments, and our debt that we got at 0% is now 6%. So as the new debt rolls over, that they got this instrument in at 0% and now it's 5%, the banks are fucked. So they need money. But guess what? The Federal Reserve can't keep printing money because it's worthless already. Just like Germany, 1930, they printed $1 billion a day, and it ended up making it worthless because it was you can't print. If you keep printing, it's gone. So it doesn't work. You can't just keep printing money without losing the value. You can't do it. So you lose value if you do that. So that's the name of that game. So I really, there's no, if it flies up, if you don't need the money, you're just gonna let it run. And if there's a point where we're like, okay, it's at 40 grand now, I want to, well, if you're in gold, it's 40 grand now. Well, if you're just gonna buy it to keep it and you're playing it like a stock, you're afraid it's gonna go down, that's not what you do with gold. Because even if it goes down to 30, it's going back to 40 because the dollars are worthless. And you got to understand the whole fucking world's in fiat currency. The whole world's in this paper shit. The whole world, nobody's in gold. Zimbabwe started a little because of the heavy inflation. Why did they go to gold? Because they had heavy inflation. Strange. Or all the central banks buying gold. So keep that in mind. You're not selling it like a stock. And then what are you going to do? Look for another stock? You can't. I mean, it's gold. You can't look for anything else. That's it. There's no competition besides. There's no competition for gold. And the competition for this is gold. Once you're in gold, there's nowhere else to go. Palladium or platinum, whatever. Fuck that. That's not money. Then you're into mantle cards and stuff like that. So there's really not much you're going to do. You're just going to hold it and watch it go up and up and up. And again, there's nowhere to put it. You don't want the dollars because when the bank says sorry, and you just sold an ounce of gold for 30 grand, thinking you were sneaky, like, oh, good, I just made all this money. Well, but you can't put it in money. So leave it in gold until there's a gold-backed currency. Then you could sell it for that, but it's going to be so high. Once the gold-backed currency comes out, it's going to be a joke. So keep that in mind. So that question, Bobby, you're not going to sell it unless you need it, unless it's like sell it to pay this or buy that, and then the money goes right in, gets the money, and it pays out expenses. So you don't want to sell it to hold money. You want to sell it to use the money. But you want to barter it more. Or copper, yes. Copper pennies. I heard this one guy on YouTube talking about platinum. Platinum's not money, though. Yeah, platinum, palladium, but they only have a value because I think they're in cars. Like the catalytic converter needed palladium or something, or platinum. So it's kind of a fake demand. It's demand for something, but it's not being price fixed by JP Morgan because it's not money. And then it goes up in price. So that shows you where gold will go. Well, I say take the foot pedal off and let it run. And that's what we're waiting for. But you'll never be like this guy and lose $60,000 and his wife's he can't pay for the cancer. And he loses 60. You can't do that with gold. It could never happen. So if he were to buy gold in 2010 at $200-$300 an ounce, or even if it's $500, and when he's there, let's say it's $800, he can't lose. It ain't going from 500 to zero. Gold has never gone to zero. It was around for the Romans, and it's been around ever since. the Mayas, the pyramids, everything with gold. It ain't going anywhere, and it's not going to zero. So you will never lose your 60,000 if you have it in gold, because nobody's fucking around with you. When you give it to these stockbrokers and you don't understand stocks and you don't understand what you just put your, if you can't explain to me the stock you bought or the mutual fund you bought, but the guy, the broker who's a Keynesian said, oh, well, you'll get 10% no risk, right there, you can't make that comment. You cannot say 10% and no risk in the same sentence. If you want no risk, you're going to get 2% in a savings account. Even that's now a risk because the money's held by the bank and the bank goes out and you lost your money. So there's really no secure thing but gold and silver. That's it. Nobody can fuck around with you. The gold's the gold. Everybody wants it. Everybody's buying it. There's no issue there. Yeah, I never think about platinum or copper. Do they even sell those at coin stores? Yeah, I think I saw platinum. I think my guy had some platinum dollars, and they were more expensive than the gold, but I would never think of buying. It's the gold standard for a reason, not the platinum. Why does platinum have a value? Well, if it goes in engines or some, if it goes into something, but wait a minute, silver goes into computers and phones, and that hasn't run. So only the money is what won't run. The platinum is not money. So I really wouldn't, just the silver's the best because it's so cheap. $25 an ounce for silver? Are you kidding me? It's such a cheap asset. You can't lose on it. It can only go up. So why would you want to spend more money on platinum or palladium or whatever? So no, I don't see any incentive to buy it. I'm buying gold because it's money first and foremost. It gets me out of the dollar, so it's protection. And then it's going to go up in value and we'll make a killing. But we're not buying it for the killing. We're buying it to get out of dollars. We don't want to be sitting there at the bank like in China and everybody's knocking at the door screaming, going, I need my money, and the bank's closed. When they do a bank run, don't forget, they don't keep your money in the bank. Once you give them 20 grand, it's gone. It's not there. They don't have any reserves of your money. They have to call the Federal Reserve. They print them $20,000 and professor walks in, give me my 20 and I get my 20. But if Bobby were to walk in the same bank a half hour later going, give me my 20, they'd go, Bobby, we don't have it. We'll have to order it for you. You'll get it on Friday. That's the way the banks work. So if you think your money is safe in this shit, I got news for you. You're fucked in that too. Just understand you're fucked in currency, right? You're only good in gold and silver. They can't do anything to you. This is the beauty of gold and silver. You'll never be this guy who lost 60 grand because he put it in a mutual fund that the guy guaranteed 8 to 10% with no risk. Dude, your money's in a mutual fund getting 8 to 10%. You have risk. You're getting 10%. You have risk. What is it in? Understand that. Oh, it's in housing. Well, if people don't pay, the loans are going to go bad and all these rich are going to go to zero. And guess what? You lent out your money to people that couldn't pay, that are bad risk. And now you put it in this real estate trust that the people on Margin Call and the people in this movie couldn't figure out. And everybody, they killed everybody lost all their money. And then they go dump it. So all this worthless dollars you're buying. So you're buying a worthless piece of crap that has no value at all. Again, you've got to understand the game. You want to play poker? You better fucking understand how to read people, and you better fucking understand how to play. And all the odds, and what's my hope, and I got a pair of aces. I better bet a lot to get everybody out, because if it goes 5 cards, I probably won't win. And that's what you got to understand to play poker. And if you don't understand it, don't play poker, because you're going to lose. And then what? Oh, so it was easier because you lost your own money in a poker game instead of having a salesman lose your money in a mutual fund. Okay. Or like Madoff. I love bringing up Madoff because these people were just the stupidest people and deserve to lose everything because they didn't ask the question, what do I do? And had they asked the question, how do you make your money, Madoff? And he wouldn't answer, you walk away. This was like this new girl I'm talking to. I says, well, she wants money. I go, fuck you. I says, well, send me your picture so I know it's really you. And she won't send the picture. So what are the odds in this girl's being real without getting a picture? Right? Really? You can't send me a picture, but but you say it's really you. Yeah, I believe. Why don't I believe that? So I'm not stupid enough to just send money to somebody who's not real. I don't like these girls that you've never met. It's one thing when you meet the girl at the swimming pool, or like I met my Ukrainian girl on all the vacations. Then when she asks for money, I know it's her. And then it becomes, can I afford it? And do I want to help her and all this shit? And if I can, I can. If I can't, I can't. But I know who it is. I'm not spending it. My other friend is due in 2 weeks. Well, in like a week and a half. She's like 9.5 months pregnant. So I sent her a little money for the doctor bills. But when I go visit, I'll give her gold. That's the birthday present. Yeah, the sad part is guys actually fall for it. Well, it's the fantasy of if I give her money, I'm going to meet her. And if I meet her, we're going to play. And if she's hot, so I want to play with her. It's like they still believe in Santa and the Easter Bunny, but they can't fool Professor Bobby. Well, you got to know. You've got to be smart. Why are you? I got it from a good Russian friend of mine, and she told me one day, Howard, if a girl really likes you, she won't ask for money because she'd be afraid she'd insult you, and then she'd lose you. So the girl that really loves you does not ask you for money, maybe later on, but not before you meet. She would want to meet you. When I met Jenna, I knew her like a week, and I said, "Oh, you're pretty. Would you like to meet?" She said, "Yeah, let's meet. Why don't you come here? I'm in the Ukraine." And no problem at all. And I meet her, and everything was great. But that's how it should go. But she didn't ask for money. Now, when I met her, she had, can you buy me a phone and buy me a purse and all this shit? But then you make your determination, and you can say no, but if you want a relationship with her, you would do it. If you don't care, then you probably wouldn't fly to the Ukraine. You could go to Vegas or Amsterdam and have that. But no, I mean, that's the whole point. I got a Russian and Ukrainian girl, and now my good friend's going to have a baby. I need my money for that. Plus, I need my money for me. I don't have a salary anymore. But I think it's just nobody's hiring. It's unbelievable. I get so many calls and then nothing. Like last Friday, I got a call. Well, now it's Thursday. I haven't heard back. He submitted my resume. This is to Volkswagen. Senior financial analyst. I just did it for 4 years at Mercedes. I'm definitely qualified. And what the fuck? So I'll wait to hear. But they're moving slow. They want to hear it. But they don't know what the fuck's going on. So more of the story is you must understand what the fuck you're buying or investing in, right? That's why people lose their money. They don't know what they're investing in. And then some happen to, buy Amazon and they make money on it. They don't know why they made money on it. Or they buy Apple or Warren Buffett bought Coca-Cola, all the no-brainers. But that's what they did. They bought that and then they make money. They don't know why they made money. And then when it starts losing, they don't know what the trigger is. So I'm telling you, the trigger is the inflation. That's why gold's going to go up. That's the trigger. I can see the action and get to the reaction, and I know what's going to happen. And that's now, it hasn't happened in a while because of everything with the dollar not wanting the competition, but now they have the competition. Now the BRICS countries, now everybody saying fuck you to the U.S. There's no more the whatchamacallit, petrodollar. Now it's the petro yuan. And so all of a sudden, all these reasons add up to gold's going to go up because this is gone and nobody wants it. That's the key to go to the next level, which is buy the gold and silver now because nobody wants the dollar. That's the whole point of it. So you have to understand what you're doing to invest. Bobby needed to understand what the pitcher was doing to hit it. He could see by the way the pitch is coming, if it's a fastball, a curveball, a changeup. He could just tell by the rotation of the ball. So he knew he might even read the pitcher, and the pitcher might stick his tongue out like Babe Ruth did in the movie, or be on one side of the rubber or the other, or just feel the catcher moving around. Or, oh, he threw me a fastball on strike one. I'm going to get the curveball on strike two and the fastball on strike three. So we know the game. So he's looking now for the curveball on strike one. So he's reacting to what he knows is going to happen, and that's how he's a successful hitter. A nobody going up, like half the Tiger team, have no idea, have no clue. They don't know what to look for. He threw me a fastball. Well, I guess I'll get ready for a fastball. These guys, I don't even think are coordinated to be able to hit the ball in the first place. I don't know. I doubt guys that hit 150. I really doubt know what the hell they're doing, or how to hit, or have any hand-eye coordination. I think they swing and get lucky and hit the ball. Otherwise, they don't do anything. You're welcome, Bobby. But I mean, that's everything's action reaction, right? You inflate, gold goes up. Economy goes in the toilet. You raise interest rates, economy goes south, and then gold should go up because the interest rates hurt the economy. Is meaningless to gold. The dollar's the dollar. So what do you think? You're going to raise interest rates so the demand goes down because it's too expensive. So you think what? That this dollar has less value, it has more value now? No. All you've done is fuck the economy. You haven't changed the amount of dollars printed and the value of the dollar. And it doesn't matter what you do because nobody wants the dollar. When all these countries opt out of the dollar and they shove it back, you're going to have massive inflation. That's the thing. Hey, Don, you like any college basketball? I don't know. I haven't looked at the games. Let's see. I'll start looking at it. I'm going to look at it next week for the tournament. We'll go through the games for the tournament. So if we look at the games, so if I look at the line, today's not. It's funny. I just made a thought to myself is just bet against Michigan, and I looked at the score, and they're down 10 to Rutgers, 50-39. I don't know what this. I hate these inner game spreads because I don't know what the real spread was. It says here 8.5. I don't know if it was 8.5 to start. It's just 8.5 now. So let's see. Miami's beating Wake Forest, East Carolina over South Florida, Baylor over Iowa State, Mississippi State over Florida. All right, 2:00. Not enough time. 2:30, Pitt and Duke. I don't know. Well, let's look at that. Let's look. Duke's 4.5. Is the game at Duke or is the game on a neutral site? I would think it's a neutral site. So let's go into my thing, and we will look up. All right, so let's look up. Come on. See, I hate that this file goes to the cloud because then it becomes an internet shit. It takes forever to come up, even though it's already up. Working offline. Why am I working offline? All right, so if I come to this point, so let's find Duke in Pittsburgh. Actually, it might be easier if I go to the conference. Yeah, so let's go to the conference. Duke and Pitt, a big ACC class. All right. Pitt is the leader at 14-4, and Duke's 13-6. Overall, Pitt 21-8, Duke 22-8. But we don't know who they played, if they played high school teams like Alabama football or not. Let's look at Pitt. Pitt 75-68, a +7. Duke is a 72-64, a +8. So that's dead even. The defense a little bit more to Duke, the offense a little bit more than Pitt. So I look at this game, if it's a neutral site, as an even game. So I think Pitt in 4.5 is probably a good play. Over under a 138 is look at the defense. So Duke 64, 128, 130. Probably an under game, I would think. Duke with the defense, they don't score a lot. They're going to play that. So let's say, so I would probably go under and take Pittsburgh in the 4.5. Now here's where the teaser, would you tease it to what, 9.5, 10.5, whatever the teaser is? So the question is, do you tease it? Well, it's so easy to score in basketball. I don't know if a teaser helps you, right? If I have 9.5 in Pitt or 10.5 in Pitt, does that make it a better pick than the 4.5, right? But it's so easy to score, even if they're down 6 at the end. Pitt can hit a 3-pointer and lose by 3, and that's it. So there's a lot of backdoors in this because of how easy it is to score. Let's see. Okay, let's go Big Ten. Ohio State and Iowa. Iowa 4.5, 152.5. So let's go. Where's the Big Ten? There's so many conferences. There's Atlantic Sun standings. There's Atlantic. There's fucking Atlantic Coast. Okay, Big Ten, Big 12, Big East, Big Sky, Big South. There's too many bigs. Big Ten. All right. So we got Iowa laying 4.5. I assume these are on neutral sites because it's the Big Ten tournament. So Ohio State looks like they suck. They're at the bottom. Oh, I didn't even put them in. Well, let's give them a 30. Let's say they played 30 games. Just for the hell of it. Okay. So if they played 30 games, they score 70 and give up 66. So they're probably more of an under team with they only score 70. Now, if we go to Iowa, I think is an over team. They score 80 and give up 74. So against Ohio State. So they're laying 4.5, 152, which is an extremely high over. Based on that number, I like Iowa because they're going to, well, no, Ohio State's defense is pretty good at 69. This is like football. All the Big Ten defenses are in the 60s. And then you get, well, it looks like a lot of them are in the 60s. Here I see, what is it? Gardner Webb's Winthrop is a 74. I don't see any 70s in the Big Ten. Well, Iowa 74 is the big defense. So I think this game's over, actually. I think Iowa scores a lot of points and gives up a lot of points. And Ohio State scores 70, and they give up that. So I think that either that or take Iowa, lay the 4.5. Too much offense, and Ohio State won't take advantage of the defense. So we'll do one more game. All right, we'll do my Kansas team. West Virginia and Kansas. Big 12. Here it is. Kansas looks like they're the best. They score 76, gives up 68. So while Ohio State gave up 68, they didn't score 76. So that's what makes Kansas be like an A or B team. Good defense, good offense. So that's an A team. And they're playing West Virginia, and they're laying 3.5. Is Jerry West playing for West Virginia? If he's playing, I would take West Virginia, but I don't think Jerry West is playing in this game. They score 76 and give up 70. So it's a pretty even game, actually. Kansas, they both score 76. Kansas, a little better defense at 68 versus 70. Spread, 3.5, 149.5. I don't know. It seems like a tough defensive game, but I don't like here. Liberty gives up 60. That's a good defense. I don't know what to do with 68, 69, 66, 62. Iowa State looks like a good defensive team at 62. Just like football, they play defense at Iowa State. It doesn't matter the sport. Probably good in girls softball too. So I kind of think, depending on a neutral field, 150s, 75 all. Yeah, it's probably an over, I think. 150. Again, basketball is a little different animal. Neither team's great. West Virginia gives up 70. So I can see Kansas putting up a high number. And then West Virginia puts up 76. Kansas gives up 68. So pretty even there. So let's go back to classroom. Okay, good. I didn't lose it. You see under 141 right now. Which game was that? The first one? Must be. Duke and Pitt. Yeah, it was one. So I got it at 138.5. Let's go to the matchup and see. So I got Duke 5.5s and 5s. And the total 138.5. Everyone's 138.5. I don't know where you're seeing 141, but all of them are 138.5. So looks like money's going on Duke, which of course it would because they're Duke. And then the 138, I don't see 141. You know who Rob McEwen is? Educate me, Bobby. Who's that? Is he a player? Is he a coach? Is he your gardener? So the question that Don's asking, do I like any? Not really. I don't. I think I would take Iowa at 4.5. I think I like Iowa. That would maybe a very small bet, and then maybe the Kansas over, very small bet. I don't. We're not. If this was football, they'd be like 5 units. I see an article here on Google where he's getting interviewed by Kitco, and he predicts gold to 5,000 and silver to 2. Yeah, so never heard of him. What kind of predictions $5,000 gold? How can it go to 5,000? If it's Comex, they're not going to let it go. Once Comex is gone, then it really shoots up. And also, you don't really want to watch anything on Kitco. Kitco is not a very reputable firm. They're mostly idiots. So I'd be very careful watching Kitco. It's like watching Peter Schiff. Like, if he says anything, you're going to believe it. No. So that's my point. Be careful who you watch. It says that he's the executive chairman of McEwen Mining, whatever the hell that is. All I can tell you is do a Google search on McEwen. So here's what I would do. Rob McEwen. Is Rob McEwen a Keynesian? And see what comes up. And the way he's not liking gold, I would say he is a Keynesian. And then what is he saying? Going to Bitcoin or, these are nothing. 5K, they'll hit that. As soon as the gold back currency comes out, it'll be 5K. So not a big fan of that. So I wouldn't really play these games really tough. I mean, I'm not looking at them yet like I look at football, but I will look at the bracket with much more meaning. But I got to know what's relevant. So this is very infant for me right now. Where gold, I've got nailed, right? I can tell you all the players on the teams. I can't name a player on the team that I just gave you. Kansas, Pitt, Iowa, Ohio State. Unless it's Archie Griffin, I have no idea. So be careful with that. I would ask you who you like, and then if we like, if you were like leaning on Iowa and I kind of gave you Iowa, then I would say bet Iowa. But you got to know the players, the coach, and I'm showing you the defense in that. So all I can say is be careful. Be careful, but you got to really know the players. Like I say, the best team's Houston, and then depending on the injury to UCLA, how good is their backup, or Arizona or Alabama. Those are the top teams. I think like Duquesne just won their conference, looked really good. They go to you got to go to the tournament. You remember, though, this is a tournament, and you're never getting the champion in the tournament. You're getting the team that wins the tournament is not the best team in the country. The best team in the country, you would need a playoff for. So it's all bullshit because it's all ratings and votes and everything. So the number one team now is not really needs to have a playoff like the NFL. Like when Kansas City wins, they beat Cincinnati and they beat Philadelphia. They're the best team because they played the best teams. But if you don't do that, like in college football, they don't do that. You have no idea who the best team is because they don't have a playoff. Alabama was the best of these four. They beat a weak Ohio State team, and then they beat a good TCU team. So I will give them credit for winning it, but let them play a 16-team tournament, like the Super Bowl. So if Georgia beats Alabama and they beat Michigan and then they beat TCU, yeah, they're the champs. They beat three good teams. But you don't get that in college basketball. They don't play each other. So here's Kansas and here's Houston and UCLA. They need to play each other. So unless they're in the Final Four playing each other, you have no fucking clue. So if Duquesne wins the title, are they the best team? Did they play Houston? No. Did they play UCLA? No. They're not the best team. They won the tournament, but they're not the best team. So keep that in mind. But football it is. But my foot's hurting a little bit. Every time I go to that barbecue place, it's a little too sweet for me, and my foot starts hurting. And then if I sit here, all the blood runs down to it, so I need to tweak it. But I got a hamburgers about to go on, Bobby. I got them all marinated because they've been sitting in the fridge since Sunday, and I was going to make them. Well, Tuesday I was birthday and poker, so I was not around. I was going to make them yesterday, but I don't know what happened. I had a few things to do, and I thought I should make them in case my foot gets bad, but Normally I can limp around. I've been icing it and ibuprofen and stuff like that. So it's getting better, but I just got to have more water. And it's again, you know, I think it started to feel it with the Chinese food. On Tuesday, I was definitely limping at poker a little bit, tiny bit. And I go, I hope it goes away and that comes. But then I had Diet Coke that they gave me and the barbecue. I knew I was fucked then. So it started hurting a little bit yesterday and then today. Well, it's probably the sugar. They'll call it gout, but I don't call it gout. I just think it's too much sugar or something in me. So it's the food I'm eating. It's the Diet Coke has the sodium, and then the barbecue sauce has a lot of sweetness. So I think I noticed last time I got it, it was the same thing. I got the barbecue and too much diet Pepsi at the 7-Eleven at the Speedway. And I noticed that 7-Eleven bought Speedway, but now it's kind of official. And now all of a sudden I'm seeing the gas prices at Speedway. Normally they're the cheapest. And I Google them and I go gas prices on Speedway. I went yesterday and I drove to mine and it was like $3.55. I ended up finding them at a Shell station 2 miles away for $3.39. So I'm like, what the fuck? Now there's 16 cents more at their cheap one. Yeah, like 7-Eleven came in because now they're raising prices on like Fritos and you know, I like the peanut butter crackers, and it's like, what the fuck? What are you doing? So just got to be careful with that. Does it get swollen? Yeah, it gets swollen. Professor, was there murdering those good-looking ribs? Well, yeah. I mean, I ate them, but like I said, I went a month ago, and it didn't bother me at all. So I think it's the Diet Cokes that really do me in. So I had too many because I got two refills on my birthday, and then at the poker I had a little Diet Coke. So it's just too much pop. So I wanted to fast, but I'm too damn hungry to fast today. So I had my avocado, and then I'm going to make some hamburgers, and I'll have a salad with the hamburgers. And if I need, I'll make an omelet. If I need something else, I'll make the egg. But I got good salad stuff. I got to cut up a cauliflower. It's still in the wrap. I got to cut it up so I eat it. Otherwise, it's going to go bad. But that's for the salad, not for the omelets. So the lettuce and the cauliflower, I don't put in the omelet. The red peppers, the mushrooms, and the broccoli I do, and the onions. So the onions I don't put in the salad, but I will grill them up with the omelets. So anyway, now I have the hamburger for the omelet. So I'll love that. You just, so it's a hamburger. You just crush it up, put it on the frying pan, then put your veggies over it. Let it cook a few minutes, then pour the egg on top. Let it cook a few more minutes. Put it in the bake it in the oven at like 290 for 5 minutes, and it's incredible. It's like, I guess it's an egg burger, but it's like having a burger with cheese on it and the bun. The bun is the eggs, and then I don't have cheese. I have the onion on it, but it's very good. But yeah, I'm kind of surprised and upset I got this back, but I hope I get rid of it. Like, I was walking fine. I woke up stiff, and then I've been on the couch with ice, and I was seeing if I was going to do this, but then it got better, so I was able to do that. Start the hamburgers, and then I figure I'll do the show. So gold, keep in mind, you would never lose $65,000 with gold, like the poor guy lost on the mutual fund. And if you get the money fucked by the bank, if you say, Bobby, you don't have any money in here, too bad, we needed the money, we're insolvent, or we're closing the doors, you're fucked. You can't get fucked with gold. This is the lesson that I was teaching today. Was the poor guy trusted the broker. You said this, and you said I'd get 10%. You said I couldn't lose the money. And then the guy's kind of backpedaling. Well, it was a safe investment. Yeah, look how safe it is. The guy got zero, but then he killed you. So I guess everything was even. He ends up shooting the guy. He shoots he shoots that one guy from Home Alone in the beginning. He shoots him and, a few other investment bankers. So it was, it made it worth the while to see that. Well, that's what should happen to them. They should go to jail, not get bailed out. The system is so bad. That's the problem with banks. And you're trusting these criminals who are working in the government, then go work for JP Morgan or these other mutual funds. And they get bailed out by the government. They don't give a fuck if you lose, as long as they don't lose. Right? We'll go back to margin call and Jeremy Einert. We don't care if the people lose, as long as we don't lose. And you're like, what the fuck? I had a big problem with that margin call movie. So you got the strange guy from Horrible Bosses in it, and the guy asks him a question. Here's a check with money on it. Are you going to be with us or not? Are you going to make your guys sell all the stuff? And instead of just saying yes, he goes, well, I'm with the firm, which nobody understands what the fuck it means. Why are you talking in riddles? That's like if you ask me a question on my foot and I don't give you a direct answer. Well, I had, what causes that pain? Well, I don't know. It's supposed to be guaranteed, but, I got Kleenex. How does that answer the question? Answer the fucking question. I hate when people aren't direct. And that was in the movie 2 or 3 times where they're asking a point blank question and it's a riddle. I thought I was watching The Riddler, and it's like, just answer the fucking, I'm always with the firm. Well, okay, but what does that mean? And then Jeremy Irons should have been more forceful, saying, you want your job? Answer the fucking question. You're a dime a dozen, because I'll awash it. Then I didn't understand. He let everybody go, but there was trading that's going to be done the next day. It's not like they're out of business. So don't you need traders for that? Well, we fired everybody. Yeah. What did that do? Did that do anything? So you're going to run a company with no people. Oh, well, good luck to you there. Oh my God, it's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. So they lay everybody off to then hire them all back. Oh my God, that's a terrible movie. The problem is it's Hollywood trying to show a movie that people don't understand. I mean, just like Madoff, the guy from Boston with all the red flags doesn't figure out the SEC's in on it. Like, dude, what are you fucking crazy? Yeah, Kleenex. They'd be terrified. What they don't, and that's what he did. And he said, I'm always with the firm. So all he had to do was say, yes, I'm going to have my guys do it. I'm with the firm. And yeah, that means if that's what you want, that's what I'm going to do. And I don't know why that was such a hard question to answer. What position are you playing today, Bobby? Well, I'm always with the team. Oh, no, I had the best one. Remember we were talking about the Stone Cold music? So now we're at a job, right? We're working at the Bobby Bow gym shoe company. And I want to come in as the Undertaker. So I'm going to turn the lights on. I'm going to turn the lights off, play that Undertaker music, and then just appear at my desk. I won't even walk down the hall. I will just turn the lights off, play the Undertaker, and then the lights will come on and I'll be sitting at my desk. That's how I want to go to work every day, with the Undertaker music. That was a cool opening. Otherwise, if I'm The Rock, I got to do the people's eyebrow and the people's elbow. It's too much work. I can just tombstone the bosses at work. It's much easier. Wouldn't that be funny, Bobby? You walked, the reliever comes out, you're on the Mets. It's the 9th inning, and okay, we're going to the Undertaker. The lights all go out in the stadium. The music comes on, and then boom, he's at the mound. They psych out. Nobody can hit the guy. Are you kidding me? God, that would be hilarious. Oh my God. Instead of the idiots running out and then they run out of energy because they ran to the mound from the bullpen. God, that would be so funny. But he's right up there, the Undertaker. Because if I'm the Hulkster, I got to do this, right? I gotta, cheer for me, take your vitamins. So that would be a little bit hard if I was the Hulkamaniacs. Yeah, the bell will sound out of nowhere as the lights go out throughout the whole office. Yeah, or in the ball field, that would be funny too. But yeah, in the office, I mean, the phones go dead, the lights go dead, and then I'm then next thing you know, I'm sitting at my desk. God, that would be funny. Or at least the Stone Cold or the Rock theme comes out. I was watching this wrestling thing and it said it was like the last 30 years who was the best wrestler, like Bret Hart and then the Undertaker and all. And then they get into the 20 teens, and it was this guy CM Polk and some of these idiots, and I'm like, this is what your best guy was some fucking idiot. I can't remember the names; they're so bad, but it was like CM Polk and some other guy, tattoo guy, and I'm like, no, now I know why I don't watch wrestling since Bret Hart left, and I left before The Rock and Stone Cold, and there was no reason to watch it because it sucked, and I think the Ultimate Warrior ruined it. He was terrible, and so when Hogan started to go out, that was it. I never got into this. Who's the other guy from Boston? The John Cena. Never got into him. Never got into Brock Lesnar. All these just never got into. And I don't watch. I don't know when it's. I used to watch it with my ex. We'd watch it, because it would be like a storybook, a soap opera every week. What's going to happen next week? What's going to happen next week? Anyway, so let's see. So we know what gold is. Gold's up a little. Who cares? Again, it's fantasy. So soon it should go, and then as we see more and we listen to Andrew McGuire and Alistair McLeod, we'll learn what we know it's coming. But part of the videos I showed you was how the corrupt these firms are, that the government officials, Greenspan goes to work for one of them, right? That's how corrupt it is. And therefore, they're really trying to hold the price of gold down. But there's just not much left. And it's just not, there's going to be a point that, okay, it's got to go now, especially once the dollar goes away. So that's going to be interesting when the dollar goes away. Then everybody will be, I just lost $60,000, except for the Teaser King and Bobby Bow. They have their money in gold. They didn't lose a penny, and their money went up. I mean, it's such a simple thing, but nobody knows about it. I mean, that's where I scream bloody murder. Nobody knows about if this guy's in gold and they don't mention it. That's what they should have said. I should have been in the movie, and then when he loses 60, then I should walk by him and go, "Oh, I hear you lost your 60 grand. Too bad you weren't in gold. You wouldn't have lost anything." And then the guy, he probably would have shot me, but he would have been like, "Oh, okay, yeah, that's right. Nobody told me about gold." That would have been the moral of that story. Um, so yeah. What else? Let's see about some videos. Oh, here we go. Mexico now joins BRICS. So they don't want the US dollar either. So look at all these countries joining BRICS. Somebody else that doesn't want the US dollar. So it's just a matter of time. Super economy equals BRICS. Interesting. So pretty much every country in the Olympics will be in BRICS except for the US, England, and Canada. See, now here's Peter Schiff with the stupid comment. They finally admitted the collapse of America was planned. Duh, really? So he puts on there and he's going to say something we've already known for 2 years. But does he say it was China that planned the collapse? And he'll think it's the digital dollar, which won't be there either. So this is the problem with this idiot. He says something that's just so stupid. And if you watch the video, he probably wouldn't even talk about it. It's just the header of the video, but not what it is. There you go. News that shook the Kremlin. Thousands of Russian troops have surrendered. I don't understand this war because the Russians don't want to fight in it. And if they leave, they get killed by their own side. So they got to surrender so they don't get killed by the Russians. It's just amazing. Oh, here's Peter Schiff trying to explain the real price of gold. The Fed will surrender. Well, it's not the Fed, it's JP Morgan, idiot. The real price of gold, cheap money, and Peter Schiff. Oh, is he going to talk about physical gold? Did he finally learn about it? Maybe he watched one of my videos because I would just nail the guy going, why are you talking about paper gold? Yeah. Oh, here you go. The Undertaker versus Bret Wyatt. He does the same stupid move where he does it on the outside of the ring. Or I hate when he goes on top of the ropes like he thinks that's a good move. Now, here you go, Bobby. U.S. allies are replacing U.S. assets with gold. There you go. That's about the explanation. So you think you're 60 grand in gold, you're going to go to zero? See, if you read the signs, you understand everything. We're talking wrestling. Bret Hart, Stone Cold, The Rock, Undertaker, Hogan, top 5. Although I was a big Warrior fan, I never liked him, but he didn't stay long enough. That's because nobody liked him. I was watching something on wrestling, and they said they don't like the guy. His character nobody liked. So, because he was like another Hogan. Well, we already got Hogan. And Hogan, does the vitamins and the minerals and everything else. So imagine me, I'd be the gold professor, and I'd be with the gold, right? And then I'd pin the guy and I'd give him a gold Here's a half ounce. I pinned you. That would be my like the $1 Million Man, right? Everybody has a price. So mine would be gold. Here you go, Bobby. Here's 2 ounces. Now go to the bathroom. Oh God. But anyway, so that's what you look for. So I'm going to be curious to watch this video. Dump U.S. assets. U.S. allies are replacing U.S. assets with gold. And Powell's like, no, 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 please don't. Trust the Fed. Investors are selling U.S. bonds to hold gold. See, everybody's buying gold, but the key is the gold price isn't going up. That's why it's not supply and demand. That's what's being controlled by JP Morgan. Why the fuck everybody follows JP Morgan and derivatives in the world and uses the U.S. price for gold is beyond me. And that's what the Russians and Chinese are saying. Fuck it, we're going to make our own price. Why are we listening to the U.S.? They sanction us anyway. And that's been my point. Why is there no physical price for gold? You've got to be kidding. And why is it everybody just accepting these derivatives by JP Morgan as the gospel? Why, people aren't stupid. What the fuck are they doing? Why are they saying yes, that's right? Well, yeah, JP Morgan sold 1 million ounces of gold derivatives. No, they didn't have any real ounces, but they sold the derivatives. Why is everybody just going, yeah, that makes sense? Oh my God. So what's going to happen is all these powerful people who own dollars are all going to go zero. They'll all go to the potty and it'll be zero. And me and Bobby will be laughing, going, well, you could have bought gold. You had no risk. You can see the writing on the wall. All the central banks are buying gold. It's JP Morgan keeping the price down with phony baloney paper. If you just understand anything, it's a no-brainer. So anyway, that's the problem with the movies. They, instead of explaining that, hey, if he had gold, he wouldn't have lost anything and probably would have made money. That's the only sure investment. And as you were saying yesterday, Bobby, about the dividends, you don't need the dividends. When it goes from when silver goes from 25 to 50, did you need a dividend? The dividend would be 3%, would be 60 cents. Is that what you need with silver? Anyway, that you don't need the dividends, because you're not going to lose the purchasing power. Like you lose, the inflation erodes the dollar, does not, or you can't inflate gold. So therefore, it never loses value. That's the kicker you get from gold, not the other way around. So anyway, I think that's it. My foot's starting to ache, and touch base. Good luck if you bet the basketball, but I don't. Maybe they're 5-unit plays, which are nothing. Just if you want to watch it. But I do think Iowa's good, and I think Pittsburgh, Duke. I don't know. I know success. She's not there, so Duke's not as good. So we will see. But just those are just. I don't know. Don't bet any. Bet very small, unless you like them. If you liked Pitt and I gave you Pitt, then okay, maybe go bet it. But I'm just doing it based. I don't know any players on the team. I don't know injuries. All I'm doing is looking at the offense, defensive points, which I do in football, which is very successful. But this is basketball, so I don't know. All right, I'm going to go watch U.S. assets, U.S. allies replacing U.S. assets with gold. There you go. Doesn't get any better than that. All right. Have a nice day. I'm off to make hamburgers and kind of ice my foot. And sitting like this doesn't help me because the blood's rushing to the foot. So I need to lay back down and put ice on it. Okay. Thank you, Bobby. Yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow. Supposed to get a big snowstorm. So if I don't know. I don't want to go on the phone that often because it's just, I don't know how to do it. And I can't show you, like up here, I can show you here, and I showed you the videos, right? So I was able to show you the videos of the movie. I don't want to hear that. Oh, shit. It's starting. Putin launches massive military strike as war enters. So that's where I worry about Jenna And I wish she wouldn't be there, but that's the problem. So she's saying hold off on her trip until I can come meet you in Spain. So maybe she can't travel with the war or something. But that's okay. Like I said, just stay safe. Go in a bunker or go down. There's tunnels they can, by the subways they can go to. All right. Have a great day. www.teaserking.com. I don't know if you have any questions or comments. And please be safe and feel good. No, not too much sugar. All right. Take care.